Sometimes our scripts need to process some objects one after another. Very often we put such data into a text file and process it line by line. Data can be easily entered into a file, and as we have shown in previous lessons, it can be also easy read and processed using for or while. But is it really the only recommended way of working with objects needed just for a moment during the script execution? Not necessarily. Bash allows to store data also in an object called array. Topic of this lesson is how to work with arrays. To declare an array, we need to find out a variable name and assign it to such variable, even empty brackets. Such array will be just an empty array. However, normally when we create array, we put something into it. This time, the example will be less technical, but still will demonstrate how to work with arrays. Our system administrator dreams of traveling to Italy, so he puts into the array names of Italian cities that he wants to visit. So we got a list, but how to work with it? Usually, when we worked with a variable and we wanted to get the value of the variable, we preceded the name of the variable with a $sign. In case of arrays, the result may be surprising. In this case, we can see the first, or to be more precise, the 0 item from the list. So how to do it correctly? To get the 0 element, write $, and in curly brackets enter the array name, and here in square brackets give the number of the item that should be returned. 0 is Bologna, 1 is Rome, and 2 is Venice. What interesting, if we call the position -1, we will get Napoli, and in case of -2, Firenze. And how to get all the objects from the list? In this case, we can use the same syntax, but as an index, pass the character @ Now we can see the full dream list of our sysadmin. If for any reason we would like to see the indexes of objects from the array, we should put exclamation mark before the variable name. Normally, we associate the exclamation mark with a negation of logical value. Here this character will cause that instead of seeing the values, we will see the indexes. But how can we work with such an array? One of the solutions is clear. We can have an integer value pointing to the index of the object in the array. Such integer could be used in a loop as a control variable and could be increased each time when the loop executes. But there are also other methods. For example, the loop for could use variable city that will take values from the list of all objects from the array. To keep the example simple, let's just display the value. The short loop displayed all the values from the array. That's great. If, however, we would decide to process the list in the loop, pointing to the objects by an index, give me position number 0, give me position number 1, give me position number 2, and so on, we would need to know how many objects are there in the array. To get the number of items, we need to use once again really complicated syntax. That's $, in curly brackets, hash, the name of the variable, and in the square brackets the character @. The syntax is not easy, but generally quite similar to the previous one. The variable name and @ in the square brackets symbolize the entire list, so the hash at the beginning is only responsible for counting the objects. Now that's not so difficult, isn't it? Now it would be easy to define the end condition of the loop iterating over the array. Remember only to iterate starting from 0. That's very important. Now let's see how to add new sysadmin's dream to the list of cities. The first attempt could be like that. To the list of cities, add new city, Palermo. No error message. That's good. But has it really worked? Oh no. Palermo and Bologna are now one city. Calling the name of the array is not enough. The array name without an index points just to its first position. First of all, let's correct the name of the first city. City on the 0 position should be Bologna. To confirm that the change was done correctly, I will check the content of the array. So, how to add a new city? The beginning of the previous command was not bad. Cities plus equal, and now the name of the new city, but enclosed into brackets. Indeed, when displaying the array, we see that Palermo was added and it's at the end of the array. The length of the array is now 7. Now I will show how to extract a subset of the array. For example, I want to have 4 cities starting from the second. Very important, we start counting from 0. So, Bologna is 0, Rome is 1, Venice is 2. Now we can count 4 cities: Venice, Milano, Firenze, Napoli. To get this subset right, curly brackets, variable name, add in square brackets, :2, :4. The result seems to be correct. Nice. That's how to work with arrays. Very useful type when we need to have a short ad hoc list to be used in the script. Most probably, the script could gather some information and at the end process it using the for loop.